because you are the ADHD cat, right? We never know where you are, what you're doing, right? So I was asking our favorite cat herder here, Kash, do you think Meow is going to show up? Or he was like, I don't know. I wouldn't count on it, to be honest. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. What is Jupnet if you have to explain it to your mom?
Jupnet is an omni-chain network to aggregate everything.
We're working on an ASMR video for it right now. I tell my own friends and family who are not in crypto about the Jupiter airdrop, and they're like, this sounds fake. This sounds like Willy Wonka nonsense. What are you talking about?
CAT. Certainty, alignment, transparency. Every cat number is a cat new year.
There's Lunar New Year, Gregorian New Year, Cat New Year. Yeah.
This is Istanbul. We're talking about lighting a huge, giant fire.
How do you do that? Will you do bribe with some Bitcoin?
No, there is no bribing. I think the lucky thing is...
So Trump and Tuah, right? What are the key differences between these two launches that made one a huge success and the other a huge failure?
You might just be having the most important conversation ever. The goal has to be completely and utterly change the entire face of finance.
69% of the people who watch this podcast have not subscribed. If you enjoy this show, if it provides value to you in one way, shape, or form, can I please ask you a little favor? Can you click that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave a comment down below? It helps this show more than you can imagine. My goal is to bring the absolute biggest and brightest people on this channel, and the best way to get there is to have all of us rally together and build the When Shift Happens family. Thank you. This conversation is supported by Jupiter, the most used decentralized trading platform on Solana and the largest DAO in the world. Bitwise Asset Management, the crypto specialist asset manager with more than $10 billion in client assets and more than 30 crypto solutions across ETFs, index funds, alpha strategies, staking, and more. 3. A scalable layer 1 blockchain that's fast, secure, and affordable, built by previous Facebook developers, and that delivers the benefits of Web3 with the ease of Web2. And Mantle, an Ethereum layer 2 that built two products I particularly like. FBTC, which enables you to borrow and lend Bitcoin in DeFi, and METH or METH, one of the largest ETH liquid staking protocols in crypto.
Welcome to When Shift Happens! Woo! Right here at Istanbul! Meow, 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 meow. I've got a special guest for you right at the end. Yay!
Stay tuned to the end for our very special
Istanbul
guest.
native, a DeFi native, and a future superstar.
That's a current superstar.
Current superstar.
Man. Come on. Anyway, is this your podcast or ours? Should we keep just screaming incoherently, or do you want to talk about
I think
stuff?
the best thing about this start is it's Monday, 11 a.m. or maybe midday. You guys haven't slept for the weekend, just like locked in, work like crazy. Meow was on stage all weekend, and there's still like this crazy amount of energy.
Sleep is for the dead.
Kash was telling me that you're sleeping on average 3 to 4 hours a night. Is that true?
Yeah, for like a few months.
How do you do that? Because we were actually wondering both. We're like, man, this is not possible.
No, I know how he does it. Is that he's insane and he is.
No. It's adrenaline, man. It's like when you go to bed at night and you're like a gazillion things are going through your mind. It looked like a very short process, right? In this last 3 or 4 days, we did the largest airdrop to users in history. We put together our first and really awesome, really great event. We launched a completely everything end-to-end, brand new Jup.ag, which is the largest trading platform in the world. We also put a community together for the Jupivers, right? And also Jup.com. And then lastly, we also, really kind of push through like a fuck ton of research and development efforts, right? To announce Jupnet, right? Which is our omni-chain network, which aims to aggregate everything, right? And obviously we announced the dollar Jup thing and the 555 plan, right? And also all that fucking, and we burn a cat. we burn
Obviously, we're going to talk about that today. That's the most important topic of the day.
Yeah,
we burned the cat.
We burn the cat. Yes, that's it. And the cat is survived and still thriving, right? Anyway, so we did all that. 4 days essentially, right? 5.
Yeah. I mean,
five.
five.
5
You
days,
got here
5
on
days, 5
Monday,
days.
yeah.
But it was obviously the result of like months and months and months of thinking, of planning, of procrastination, of thinking and delaying, and like figure out timing and stuff, right? So it's just
And of not sleeping. Month of not sleeping.
And no, the no sleep is not by default. Actually, the thing is, I don't actually set alarms, right? Yes, I just go to sleep when I go to sleep, and I wake up.
And you don't feel tired when you wake up after 3 hours of sleep.
I do. I feel tired. I definitely feel tired, but I can't sleep, so I do. It is not a choice thing, right? For some context, right, is that we had this really big user airdrop coming, right? And we wanted to make sure that the core holder community was cool with that stuff. See what I'm saying? So I think we had to do but to do that, so I think we had to figure out a really good way to kind of like to execute on that, right? While making sure that the core holder base, right, is as happy as possible. Right? You know what I'm saying? So to do that, we actually went through a big process, and then at some point I published an essay saying that okay, we should do a 70% buy-in, right? No, sorry, threshold, right? And then because it's 70%, I got flooded like crazy, and then I did the first vote. The first vote didn't go through. I failed the DAO failed the first vote, so it's like the DAO did not pass the first vote, and then I got flooded like crazy again, right? And then I do a second proposal again, and then like that one passed. And after this whole process of allocation, numbers, and everything, you were involved in the process, right? How was it? Yeah.
Honestly,
really?
it was good, but yeah, it was cool.
Hey, but
I think it was a. I know we're not talking about sleep anymore, and maybe we'll talk about some DAO stuff later on as well. But I do think that whole governance process was actual governance in action, right? We collected like 12,000 pieces of verified feedback across it. Like, I mean, there was like literally thousands of posts, Discord, Jupe Research forums, Twitter, everywhere else. And so, yeah, I think it was cool to actually watch governance work. It was not always pretty. People have very strong opinions, but we got to the best result in the end. Like that's
it was
the
great.
thing that matters, right?
Great result.
Yeah.
I don't think
87% of the community
that's not the point, man.
integrated now? 89% maybe?
The point is that I do actually think the end outcome, right? People always say that DAO can't make good decisions, right? But I actually think that is true for anything. Right. Right. An individual can make bad decisions. A team can make bad decisions. A DAO can make bad decisions. Everyone can make bad decisions. A cat can make bad decisions. A human can make bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? Have you guys ever seen one of those like dogs that walk and they fall down a drain? I mean, dogs can make bad decisions too. I'm just saying. Right?
No, I have not actually.
I'm like, just Google it. There is one. Right. I'm just saying.
Said like a cat, by the way.
I'm just saying, I mean, you can make bad decision, right? So I mean, we all can. So it's like, it's not just a DAO can make bad decision. So question for me is like, okay, how do we kind of structure the right alignment, the right feedback processes, and the right iterative loops, right, to get to bad decisions? And I think we did that. I really think we did that. And you should ask him about the jubilary process of how we executed, because he was super involved in that. Yeah.
No, because here you're talking about like one of the largest airdrop in the history, right? Which was, what was the exact number?
700 million Jupe was approved per year for the next.
And now the value is about 800, 900 million.
You gave away about $700 million or $800 million to people who used the Jupiter product, right?
Yeah, users and stakers. But
and you try to do that in the most fair fashion that kind of makes as many people as possible happy.
The key word here is not happy.
But yeah, I was going to say.
The key word here is feel appreciated and part of the process, because that distinction is very important. Yeah. And trying to do the happy part would kill us. But trying to make everyone feel appreciated and part of the process, I feel like that we did. Go.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, that I think it was less about happiness. I tell my own friends and family who are not in crypto about the Jupiter airdrop, and they're like, this sounds fake. This sounds like Willy Wonka nonsense. What are you talking about? And the truth is, it is not in just the spirit of like, giving away money. It's not the way that I think we think about it. The idea is, how do we actually meaningfully grow the community and give people more of a sense of ownership over the future of the protocol, right? Decentralization requires people to be bought in, because the thing that kills protocols, the thing that kills communities is apathy. And so by extending people this Jupe token, and then hopefully they stake it, participate in governance or whatever else, they're able to kind of feel more buy-in over what we're building, which is what we need for the long term. Because I think Jupiter, despite being the largest and most active community in crypto, besides being like the largest DeFi app, is still fucking, I can swear, right? Yeah. It's still fucking tiny in comparison to like even just small players in TradFi. And so you have to do these kind of mechanics in ways that are able to like grow the community very rapidly. And it really worked the first time. So the first Jupiter before I came on board was last year in 2024. That was like a massive catalyst for growth for both the product as well as the community. And so we ran it back again.
Dear When Shift Happens family, the following message is probably the single most important thing you should take away from today's podcast. If you're serious about your crypto investing journey, please take some time to learn how to self-custody your assets to make sure that nobody can take your coins away. Ever. If you don't learn how to be your own bank, it is very likely that one day you will lose all your hard-earned crypto. The safest way to hold your crypto is in a cold storage that we also call hardware wallets. Hardware wallets are not complicated and they give you peace of mind. I personally use a hardware wallet called Trezor. It is open source, very easy to use, and the first hardware wallet created ever. As we like to say it in crypto, not your keys, not your coin. You can order your Trezor wallet with a 10% discount by following the link in the description down below and by using the promo code WSH10. And now back to the episode.
So actually, one thing I'll say is this, right? I think just to add a couple of things, I feel like the main thing for us is what Kash is saying, right? I think most people think of airdrop as like giving free money. For us, it's not. For us, it's really about like how do we invite the most active members of the community, users, right, who already is familiar with the product, right, to be part of the community, right? That's actually how we think about it, right? Because we actually think that remember, right? Our goal is to aggregate everything, right? We want to bring the entirety of the world into one single place, right? I'm saying, and then make it super ultra easy, right, for the entire world to access, right? Let me say again. But we want to bring the entire liquidity into a single place, right, and make it ultra easy for the whole world to access, right? So that's our goal, right? And to do that is a combination of a few things, right? It's a combination of not just products, right? No, but also you really need a very intense network of like community members, right? Who's gonna push the mission for you, who's gonna work with you, who's gonna give feedback, right, and everything. So I think that's actually what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to really grow that kernel of people who is gonna, as you said earlier, we are fetus right now. We are very small, right? Who's gonna grow the baby with us.
Yeah. Actually, I have one other way to explain it that might make it easier for folks who are listening in as well. I think of Jupiter kind of, so I'm Indian, right? Indians, we're famous, giant weddings and everything. Oh, sorry, is that funny to you, Mr. Chinese man? Is that something funny to you?
No, I didn't know you're Indian. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, breaking news.
I'm a
Keshav Dada is an Indian guy. So,
I'm sorry.
we have these giant weddings, right? And so I think of Jupiter almost like
a white guy, Indian guy, and Chinese guy was in the
What can go wrong?
And we have that's fine.
But so the idea with Jupiter, right, is we want to throw this massive kind of wedding, and we're sending out these very intricate invites to everybody, which are in the form of these kind of airdrops, right? And when you send out 2 million invites to a wedding, you don't realistically expect 2 million people to show up. It'd be great if they did, and you kind of hope that they do. But inevitably, some people will just take the nice looking invite and they'll just they'll sell the chocolates or whatever else, right? And they'll just kind of capture the money. That's fine. So there's no ill will towards anyone that received the Jupiter airdrop and didn't participate in the community. But what we do know is that the people that got that invite and then showed up to Istanbul, to the planetary calls, to using the products more, they're going to be a part of the movement that we're trying to build into the future.
Movement. Yeah, that's I like movement.
And you actually had a sort of prove that what you're doing is working here because you were, I think, what do you say? You had like 90% attendance rate or?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I praise it.
Especially, we just finished up Istanbul, which is the first ever kind of community conference by Jupiter here in Istanbul, Turkey, of course. And we honestly weren't sure what was going to happen. We kind of mentally were budgeting for 500-600 people, maybe. We weren't really sure how many people would
I had
come.
no expectations.
Zero boy mentality.
No, seriously, I was like, okay, if 10 people showed up, I'll rock it. 1,000 people, if 500 people show up, I'll rock it. If 1,000 people show up,
I don't think you think it's the same. If 10 people showed up, I would have been a little worried. Because there's so many people on the team.
No, I'll rock
so
it. No, rock it. It's fine.
It would have been great either way. But so we.
No, seriously, no. If 10 people showed up, what do? Right? Let's have a team party. My key mantra is I don't give a fuck. But I go with what happens.
Can
No,
vouch, can confirm.
seriously, I don't care, right? If I swear to God, right? If 10 people showed up, I was like, hey team, let's go. I'll get it on team and stuff. We'll do a great team meeting, right? I'll go. I give those 10 guys who showed up the nicest, best meal they ever had in their fucking life. Right? They'll into everyone. I'll do that. I just do that. We'll be great. Great times, right? 100 people, great time. 1,000 people, great time. Okay.
And we ended up with
You get them any.
1,400 people, I think, came up. So yeah, we asked for like a deposit. The conference was free, to be very clear. We asked for a deposit so that we could just budget for food and whatever else. And something like, I think in the end, 1,800-ish people put in the deposit, and then about 1,700 of them came to one of the 2 days in the end, which is just insane. People flew in. I was talking to guys, they flew in from New Zealand, from Argentina, from China, from Canada, like literally every single place, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I was like telling them like, hey, like came just for the conference, just to have a look. Right? Like, yeah, I just flew from New York, right? Yeah. Fuck, man, this is. And there's so many of them, right? Like
so many. I mean, I'm telling you, the reason why we did in Istanbul, right, is that we were thinking that. I mean, there are many reasons why here, right? But one reason is that I think, okay, I'll be honest. The main reason is Istanbul. It's too good, right? Because Istanbul is known as a city of cats, right?
Yeah, he told me the other day.
Yeah, it's like people don't know this, but Istanbul is known for being a city of cats, and the informal nickname for Istanbul is actually Castanbul, right? It's like the meme is too good, right? The meme is just too good, and then I mean the fact that we are a cat-centric meme, the fact that we're gonna have a huge burning cat thing. I mean, how can we not do it here, right? Okay, fine. That's the first reason. Fine. Okay. I mean, fine. I mean, yeah, you will do this for meme, right? Come on. Yeah. I said before, every coin is a meme coin, right? You remember that, Kevin? We said that.
Of course. It was the intro of last. It was in the trailer, the first sentence of the last podcast. And then what's so funny is like kind of you reuse this sentence multiple times with like podcasts I did afterwards with like some pretty smart people in the space, but more kind of like in the Ethereum ecosystem, and they were like, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with that. And now they're all freaking saying that
that's
just
the way.
non-stop. And I'm like,
that's
fuck,
the
man,
way.
Meow. Another thing that Meow understood like before I won, right? Which is not the only thing, but
that's the way, man. That's the way, man. It's so funny because I was there 2 years ago, and then like I'll guess them crazy. They're like, man, you're degrading the integrity of this industry. How can you compare my precious Ethereum to I love Ethereum, by the way, just to be clear, right? I mean, how do you compare my precious platform, world-changing technology coin to a meme coin? I'm like, bro, your world-changing technology coin has no meme. That's why, whatever. But anyway, too bad. I mean, I have all kinds of meme coins. We'll get to that in a bit. But and the second reason was that we really wanted to kind of create a situation whereby we had a really good mix of people, right? Like it's like equal opportunity suffering, right? Whether you're coming in from Miami or New York or like Asia and stuff, it's same suffering, It's a media, yeah.
We all struggle to come here. So I think for me, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, but like 2 main alpha from this weekend, because that's what people are here for, right? The first one is how many people showed up, right? Which is completely crazy. So it shows like there is something brewing here.
No. For me, it's not just that. For me, it's the fact that I think at 6 p.m., right, in the first day, it was like in the middle of the second minute, like it was packed.
Standing room home.
Yeah, it was packed.
And I'll say like the room was packed physically. We did I don't even know how many hundreds of thousands of live stream viewers we had as well, right? So it was like even people who couldn't come as well. So yeah, the scale of it I think was really pretty special.
The second mega alpha that I think people who were not here or didn't watch the live stream probably haven't understood yet is that Jupiter is not just a decentralized exchange. You guys are, I mean, I wrote that yesterday. You guys are building like an on-chain powerhouse. Like you went on a buying spree and like you're doing crazy partnerships and I think people don't realize that yet. And I want, because my job is to go and get the alpha and try to kind of show the world beforehand, like what's happening, right? Hey, you should pay attention to this project and this protocol because they're basically built different and they're doing like something that's way bigger than what you expect. So let's talk more about that. Actually, like playing kind of long-term game with long-term people and the vision of Jupiter.
I know the traditional business mindset is to try to talk about how big you are and everything. We don't really have that metric in mind. That's not really our metric. Our metric is very different, right? Our metric is around like ecosystem value, and user value, and around like I would say like project synergy. So basically, I think the way we think about it is that, hey, how do we build the right foundation, right, for the users? Like what's the best possible value that we can put together in one place, right, for the user? I'm telling you, I think for me that's what matters, because we are in the fastest growing industry in human history, right? Simply because we have liberated finance. Everybody can now play a leading role in the whole entire money creation, distribution, and regeneration stack, right? It's insane. And so by default, it will be the largest and fastest industry in the human world, right? And you can see from the past that whenever someone tries, that is actually really, really like not conducive, right? So what we do is just simple. We focus on user value, right? What can we put together in a place that can add tremendous amount of user value, right? Obviously, it started aggregation. We added out with a full-fledged spot product. We launched the perp stuff recently, which is the largest source of perp security, right, on Solana, and probably actually anywhere actually, because it's the largest like a perp security pool, right? And then recently we embarked on a token initiative, right, to really kind of make our tokens DB like the most comprehensive and safe token DBs in the world. You think? So I feel like that's how, for example, that's a Jupe AG, right? Right. So it's about I sorry, I tell you God, the way we think about stuff is not like, it's how do we add value, right? And similarly with our Jupe.com, right? And Kash talk about that, same thing as well, right? How do we kind of put the right things in one place, right? Whether it's DAO or the community efforts or the work groups in one place and stuff to add maximum value. Same for Jupnet, right? Jupnet is actually very different. If Jupe AG is more of a product, right? And Jupe.com is more like a community project, right? Jupnet is very much a technology, it's more a technology project, right? Kind of like, how do we kind of put together the right set of technologies, right? Including the right cryptography standards, on the right blockchains, on the right and the right design, technical design on different chains, and also the right kind of UX innovations put together in one place. So it's about aggregating. So if Jupe AG is aggregating products, right? Jupe.com is about aggregating community, right? Jupnet is aggregating technologies. So I'm saying, to put together a good UX for the users, developers, right? In a very, very, very hard to navigate multi-chain future, right? You know? So I think in very much like that, and that's kind of why we always say we aggregate everything. So I'm saying, yeah. So I think because the aggregation mindset is actually very very important for us, right? And that goes back to kind of what you are talking about in terms of like the crazy acquisition partnerships, right? So we are not really aggregating to dominate. We're not. No, I swear to God, guys. I swear to God in Canada right now, that's not our point, right? We care about synergy. We care about like having the right kind of touch points, okay, with different communities. For example, our partnership with AI16Z, Shaw, right, the Magic Jupiter Fund, right? It's like, okay, we don't know a lot about AI. We use it every day, obviously, right? But we are not able to be in that close touch with the AI community. You are AI agents, right? But you're this guy who built the leading AI framework, right, in crypto today, right? Who has an extremely successful meme coin, AI meme coin, right? And I think and whom I genuinely believe is one of the best guys around, right? Because we share very similar values, around synergy, around like future of the world, everything, right? So then in that regard, right, a synergistic thing, we're a partnership, and we're gonna co-invest in like a open source like AI together, because we think that's the future, right? And this is because it's actually the first time I'm actually explaining how we think about the world, right? So, and our approach to that is aggregating synergies, because we believe that by aggregating, right, we add value to everyone, right? You know what I'm saying? By aggregating the products and the liquidity, by aggregating community, by aggregating technologies, right? We actually we get the best of everybody, right? Distill it, right, and deliver to the user who needs that trusted brand, that trusted website, that trusted app. I'm saying the trusted endpoint. And then in doing so, the main focus for us is to align, right? Make sure that everyone who is involved in the process is as aligned as possible, right? Values, economics, and freedom, right? Autonomy, right? And in doing so, I think Jupiter can play a really big role in accelerating, the decentralized matter. So basically, that's so our entire strategy around everything we do is just 3 words, right? Aggregate, align, accelerate. That's it. That's our Jupiter strategy.
I think that we have basically different pillars of the Jupiterverse that allow us to do each of those, which is really interesting, right? So, other companies might have functional departments, and I think we have kind of like strategic initiatives or large scale efforts in each of those domains. So obviously the aggregate stuff largely is on the product side. Like the platforms are aggregating every token, giving you the best possible price every single time. Jupnet will aggregate all chains along with identity and many other things, right? The alignment all comes through the Jup token, which has a bunch of announcements that I'm sure we'll talk about later today.
Actually, alignment comes in way more than that. You have the alignment in terms of like how the fee structure works, how you structure participation between all the projects you work with, right? I'm saying, because we have a lot of partner projects, right? And every partner project has different needs and different requirements, right? So how do you align like incentives, right? DAO as well, right? How do you align needs of the DAO, right? The needs of the working group, right? I'm saying to function and to pay people and how do you align in terms of like for example, but it's not just that, right? They also need recognition, they also need awareness, everything, right? So for me, all those things are under alignment.
I think Jup token ends up being the kind of like physical manifestation of it.
You think so?
I mean, it is quite literally the thing that keeps the narrative aligned, right?
I think it's a lot more there. Yeah, I think Jup token is a symbol of that. But yeah, I don't think it's a physical manifestation of that. No, just saying, but it's a symbol there. Yeah, I think Jup token, symbol. Yeah.
And then on the acceleration side, I think that there's a lot of work, especially a lot of the community work that we do. Whether it's kind of getting this kind of founder energy built into the community through the work groups, as we were mentioning, through the DAO itself, through all the content that we try to put out there, and through all the kind of creators that we work with. All of that is kind of in that same position of like, how do we dramatically and kind of permanently change the inflection curve of how this technology gets adopted? And a lot of that is making products that are easier to use, making products that are safer to use, so things like the token list and so on. All of those things kind of come together.
I'm so excited for Jupnet. I mean, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna take a while, man. But I do think that if we do Jupnet correctly, it can accelerate a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Because I mean, the number one problem in crypto overall, or at least one of the very top problems, is just like the chain fragmentation of like, as you're a user, I don't understand what Base is versus abstract versus Solana versus this versus that. Like it's overwhelming and it's impossible to even explain oftentimes. What are the trade-offs and how do you actually move and bridge your assets across? So Jupnet, I think, has a lot to do.
Do you remember what Lucas said about Jupiter and Solana?
Yeah, of course. That's he basically started to take some of them more seriously when he used Jupiter.
Yeah, because I think Jupiter works extremely hard, right? To allow users to access everything, right? You know what I'm saying, right? And I think and that I think was very important because it really a lot of innovation happened, right? Because if you don't actually have a single endpoint for users to access everything, right? Then what happens is that users just go to one place, right? Then you can't innovate. There'll be no innovation, right? But then the ability for a user to go one place and to access everything in the same or even better UX, right? Then it's actually amazing, right? So that's actually and developer too, right? We actually spent tremendous time on the UX and DX, right? So what we did for Solana, we would like to do for all of crypto, right? I'm saying because I truly and sincerely believe, right, that if the thing that aggregates crypto is a centralized entity, then we are back to square one, right? That therefore what aggregates crypto has to be decentralized. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's it.
So this leads us to a part about DEXs and CEXs. So centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. You guys showed, so there was this Trump launch 1 week ago that you guys basically provided the entire infrastructure for that, right? With Meteora, Jupiter, and Moonshot. You guys showed that DEXs and on-chain can eat centralized exchanges for breakfast, right? How long until it becomes a norm for the on-chain world and DEXs to fully take over centralized exchanges like Binance, Bybit, Coinbase? I think a timeline is tough, and I think there's likely the case that that's what it's like. It's likely that I think CEXs will always play a role. The goal is not to kind of like eliminate all centralization. There are times and use cases and particular people that might want it, but the opportunity for DEXs is just an order of magnitude bigger, right? Because they are
instant and 24/7 and available to everyone in the world. And I think this idea of bringing more people on chain and more people into the financial system more broadly can only really happen with DEXs. I think there's also a bunch of like tactical benefits that you get it, which is why you're going to see decentralized listings not become a trend into the future. It's a trend in the present, right? Like there are already many folks that are going straight on chain because they know that's where the audience is, that's where the energy is, that's where the people can actually access it without having to, get dumped on by insiders.
I think, talking about Trump launch, right? I think Trump launch is really pretty amazing, right? It's like, the president of the United States, right, launched a coin, 3 days before his inauguration?
Yeah.
Right, and using our partners, technology stack, and distributed on Jupiter, and further distributed on Moonshot, right, and other similar apps, right. So that is spectacular.
Yeah.
Okay, if for those of you who might not be too familiar with how it works, is that basically the team set up a single-sided liquidity pool was set up on Meteor DLMM, right? And was set to go live at a given time, right? After the tweet went live. And after the tweet went live, the pool opened up as well, and Jupiter immediately picked it up, right? And verified it. So to make sure that Jupiter don't get scammed. So then, because it's very important to just make sure that the right token is verified, right? And immediately everyone that uses the Jupiter API, is immediately tradable on those places as well, right? Now, obviously, liquidity doesn't just get on Meteor, right? Because after liquidity happens, right, you can just bring liquidity anywhere. So it's actually really interesting because you have this system that really acts as like think about it immediately, right? It's crazy. A token is launched, it immediately gets value because immediately people are able to swap it for USDC for it, right? So it gains value, right? And it's immediately distributed via Jupiter to everywhere else. Guys, just think about how crazy it is, right? In a purely decentralized way, someone put their assets in a pool, single-sided pool, and immediately, the very second that it happens, right? Anybody all over the world, right, can buy it, use it, snap it, anything they want to do, right? That was it.
Yeah. I think that like the battle between the CEXs and the DEXs really came down to two things. And the first one was this technological component, where for a while, like let's just be honest, you could not do large-scale launches on chain because the tech just wasn't good enough. That problem has been solved in the last, 6 to 12 months on Solana and via things like Jupiter, Meteor, and some of these others. So now you can actually have a lot of users at the same time on chain without things breaking entirely, which previously could
entirely.
entirely a little bit, And the second is around distribution, as Meow was saying, right? Is that the mindshare was fully with Binance and the other centralized exchanges. And now we're increasingly seeing that shift where the mindshare is moving on chain. And that's the distribution that really matters.
Happens.
That's right now.
And it's so cool talking about it here because I do feel like this is probably one of the most major shifts that happens, right? Hey, guys, think about it, right? Everyone on what's thinking about it, right? What happens in the entire tokenization process, right? From currencies to commodities to stocks to everything, shift, everything. When that shift happens on chain, right? That is the shift, by the way. If you're talking about any shift, that's the shift. That's why it's interesting, right? Because that is the shift, right? If there's one shift in human history, this is the shift.
Finance every year is somewhere between like a $20 to $25 trillion industry, depending on how you measure it. And it is slowly, but soon, it will suddenly come on chain, I think, in dramatic ways.
Cash. Fuck that. You know why?
What?
Fuck that. You know why?
Why?
Tell me why. Because you just said finance is worth how much?
It's like 20 to 25 trillion right
now. And that's measured in? Dollars. Fuck that. Okay, now we are moving to a world where we're just going to be inventing new currencies, the entire world. It's like the entire way we measure finance is going to be replaced by a more fundamental idea, right? This idea that anyone can create money. That's the power of decentralization, right? Because our key mental ideas, right, are still very much anchored in the idea of centralized money. I bet you when you study economics in school, they taught you the price, right? The idea of price, right? then you price and USD everything and stuff, right? And all that is priced in a certain like currency. But then what happens when the base of that changes, right? It's almost like adding a third dimension to a what was previously two-dimensional graph, right? So the goal here cannot be to replace TradFi, no, or to move TradFi on chain, no, fuck that, right? The goal has to be completely and utterly change the entire face of finance, right? You know what I'm saying? That has to be the goal, and that has to be what happens, and that's the shift.
So you mentioned Moonshot a couple of times, right? Which was basically the buy button on the Trump website.
Yeah.
Buy, and then people would get directed to Moonshot. And we had this big announcement this weekend at Istanbul that you guys acquired a majority stake in Moonshot, right? And I have a pretty interesting story about that with you, Meow, which is a couple of months ago in October. I recorded a podcast with Hasbulla, which is not out yet. I hope they're going to launch their meme coin one day. I mean, maybe after Trump coin, like they'll do it. Anyway, you were supposed to be with me during that podcast with Hasbulla in Dubai a few months ago. And because you are the ADHD cat, right? We never know where you are, what you're doing, right? So I was asking our favorite cat herder here, Kash. I was like, 2 days before the podcast, I was like, do you think Meow is going to show up? Or he was like, I don't know. I wouldn't count on it, to be honest. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And then the day before the podcast with Hasbulla, you basically called me like, oh, bro, I can't call tomorrow. I'm like, oh, why? I'm not surprised, but why? Like, not the first time.
That's so fun. That's so fun.
So why? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm basically cooking something big in San Francisco, right? And so then 3-4 months pass, and this weekend I learned that basically what you were cooking at that time was the acquisition of a majority stake in Moonshot. So basically, you were doing that already a few months ago, and Moonshot was that buy button on the Trump website. So my question for you is, how much are you a genius, or how much are you just figuring everything out like on the fly, and then things happen, like crazy shit happen like that? But it's.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing about how can you be honest here, please? Can you be honest? It's the same thing about how the whole Istanbul came together, right? It's like it's a combination of like instinct and I mean, I'm a cat, right? Cats focus on 3 things, right? Cats are flexible, right? Their strength, and then their instinct. And I wouldn't claim to be successful in any way. Seriously, I think Jupiter is like tiny, right? Compared to everything else out there, right? And very, very early. I mean, the Jup token is only 1 year old, right? To call a 1-year-old baby a success is fucking crazy. I will never do that. Right? I'm saying, maybe in 5 years. Hey, 5. Okay, anyway, but I think I focus tremendously on founder energy and talent and market. I think I am very willing and able and determined, right, to do counterintuitive things, right? That might not have market consensus, right? If I feel like the right energy is there and it's in the market that I care about, right? I'm saying, and the values align. I feel like when those 3 things happen, when there's alignment in value, when it's the market I care about, right? And I feel and my instincts are clicking, right? I'm very, very willing and able, right? I'm saying, to make counter consensus bets, right? I think so. Obviously, I didn't know, right? But I knew at a very deep level, right, that it was actually extremely synergistic. And obviously, the founders are amazing, right? Like just world class, right, in execution, world class in like caring about the right things, right? And world class in understanding the space, world class integrity, right? As well, so important, just so fucking important. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those are qualities that I deeply respected them, right? And that's the reason why it wasn't an acquisition, right? That's the reason it's a partnership, right? That's the reason why, right? And then I think I'll say right here and right now that I would want to support them and work with them, right, in whatever way is like most synergistic, right? So for Jupiter and for Moonshot and for everybody else, for the whole world, in fact, right? I'm saying, so that's how I think about it. Yeah.
Last question on the shift that Trump caused the Trump coin.
how many big celebrities or personalities have reached out because they want to follow the Trump LFG playbook?
Yeah, I mean, but quite a lot.
How serious do you think they are? Quite serious, yeah. I think there was this knowing that it can work and that it is now the Overton window shifted when Trump did that, right? Where all of a sudden the kind of stigma around it, or the idea that all tokens from prominent people are just like instant rugs, because we've seen a lot of that. Let's be honest. I think is, but
No,
you know,
no,
we have.
no, I'm just saying, go on. I'm not saying anything. Go on.
Oh, I mean, of course. I mean, you're saying something when you say that.
Okay, fine. I feel like when we call things rock, right? We call anything that doesn't do well a rock, right? See what I'm saying? I mean, the truth is actually much more complicated than that, man. It's like things that sometimes the team tries really hard, but they fuck up one or two things, and the price goes down, but it's not necessarily a rock. Sometimes the price goes up like crazy and stuff, but the team is like really rocking a ton. Right, so it's like it's just not so simple. Yes, the industry sees it that way. It's actually quite harmful to our industry, right?
So it's more like a successful launch versus a non-successful launch. And we have two examples. And for me, it's more trying to understand, for example, these other big people who might come talk to you because they're interested. If they look at what happened in the last month, there is like a very successful launch and there is a very unsuccessful launch. So Trump and Hacktoager, right? For me, it's more to try to understand for these people who come and don't understand anything about crypto, but they're big, right? What are the key differences between these two launches that made one a huge successful launch, and the other a huge failure?
This Kevin, I think you might just be having the most important conversation ever, okay, in terms of celebrity launches. The one thing that everybody must understand, right, is that whether you're Trump or anybody else or any celebrity, right, whether you're C grade, B grade, A grade to S grade like Trump, right, or Elon Musk, I mean, to be clear, there's only two, I think there are only two S plus tier celebrities, right, Trump and Elon Musk, right, that's it, right, mainly because and obviously, or take that, for example, you have some really big Hollywood stars, for example, right? Makes sense. But I don't think they're the same tier. Let me tell you why. It's because I think the first thing is that to understand, right, is that you have the people that creates the initial value, and sustain value and stuff is not everybody else. It is the crypto community. And as you've seen the Trump launch, right, the crypto community is very, 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 very able, right, without the help of any normie, right, I'm saying, to send some to billions instantly, right? There's so much capital and liquidity and like that's flowing through crypto right now, right? So what's the key thing here, right? Now, so the question becomes like, okay, when does it go to billions and when does it go nothing? Same thing, or almost nothing, right? Because here and in my observation, got three things, right? Number one is like, how much credibility does this brand having crypto about brand, right? Having crypto, right? Same thing. For example, you could have a person that is like far lower, right, in the rankings, in the global known. For example, how many people know the XPT? A very, very small number, right? But the number, but he's a name that is like known in the crypto world, right? Therefore, his coin has a potential to do well. The other example is like obviously Trump is incredibly, right, well loved in the crypto world, right? You know, because of his like very pro crypto policies, right? So I think obviously the three things, right? Trump is like amazing, but like he's obviously world famous. Obviously, he also happens to be extremely pro crypto, right? And thirdly, he's one heck of a meme, right? So when you put like all three things together and stuff, he has like the perfect crypto brand. I feel like people are not really getting it when you go like, okay, a person is famous, therefore they're going to do well. Not really that, right? I think that's why you see a ton, many, right? You know, rappers and whatnot who are world famous, but I launch a coin and no one cares, right? It's precisely because while they have widespread worldwide brand, they don't have the crypto. They don't have a brand that crypto people, right, will resonate with, in opinion, in a sustained way, right? Therefore, if the crypto community buys into someone famous, right, but doesn't have a core crypto following, they are just buying it purely for a very immediate short-term P&D. That's it, right? Because they don't actually believe that this brand has lasting power, right? Same thing. in crypto, right? Whereas I think the reason why Trump has sustained billions, right? I'm saying even crazy up and down, whatever, right? It's because the crypto community believes that Trump is going to be a constant brand in crypto, even if he doesn't tweet it. Just the fact that him of being around and declaring crypto policies, right? He's going to be a brand in crypto. Done. That's it. Over. Saying, and that's going to be a direct correlating effect, right? Same thing. That begs the question, right? So, but obviously, if someone famous launches a coin and the coin starts from a very low amount, obviously it will be higher, right, than before. The way a crypto native will approach a brand like Trump, right, and the way a crypto native will approach a brand like, say, Cardi B, right, so it's very, very different. And you know that, right? Now, so, and that obviously leads to a third point, right? How should a celebrity, right, who has a lot of worldwide branding, right, I'm saying, right, but maybe less crypto native trust, right, so I'm saying, right, do it. So I'm saying, right? I think the thing that I always say again and 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 again, right, that people don't really care about, but I say again and again anyway, right? You gotta build trust. And trust happens in a few ways, right? Is that you got number one, you gotta be patient, right? Because your brand is not a trusted brand in the crypto community. And even if you are, by the way, I'm saying most people would think that automatically assume that you're wrong. See what I'm saying? Absolutely. Right. And then if you and remember, right, if you are not a brand like Trump, right, and people say you're a rock, right, and the consensus say that you're a rock, right, then the truth becomes, the perception becomes reality, right? You become a rock. Same thing, right? So I think it's actually really, really important, right, for you to build trust. And that happens in 3 ways, right? Number one, spend time with the community, right? In summary, 3 things. Number one is about how much brand equity do you have with crypto natives? And secondly is that brand equity would directly affect how much the crypto natives see you as a purely one day pump and dump versus a potential long-term meme game, right? Make sense? Right? It's very, very different actually mindset, right? And thirdly is how you design your pre-launch efforts and pre-launch setup and post-launch communications, right, to ensure that to really reassure people. I feel like there are some people, and I can think of a few, like the El Salvador president or Michael Saylor, like those guys who have built up an enormous amount of reputation, crypto native reputation, to be able to have a long-lasting meme game. And done right, there's a bunch of mechanisms you can use. Single side liquidity pools, Jupiter lock, right? And saying we provide the entire set of tools and stuff to execute on the trusted launch. Something, yeah, but it all has to be done pretty well.
Yeah, I think that in the end, not all token holders are the same, right? Like what you want to do for a successful project is have your tokens in the hands of people that believe in what you're doing in the long term. And if you do a lot of pre-sales for people who are more short-term oriented and you're just pumping it to KOLs or whatever else, you can expect that, things are going to get a little bit rocky. Versus if people have a lot of brand faith in the equity or in what you're going to do within crypto, they're much more likely to be along for the long-term ride, right?
And you design your launch in a way that gives assurance.
Yeah, I think that what we're going to increasingly see, my bet, is more transparency on chain. I think this is also the beauty of the general shift to being on chain, is that we have the tools to show on chain investing, to show hey, you don't believe me, you can verify that my things are not going to come to me for a long time. You can look. I mean, Jupe is a great example of this, right? The transparency audits that we've been doing, you can see where all the tokens have gone. You can see there's no OTC deals. You can see there's nothing shady going on behind the scenes. And I think as more people kind of move into this transparency meta, we're going to see more likely long-term success.
Alpha. You can share Alpha here.
Share the alpha. Drop the
Share
alpha.
the alpha.
Drop
right,
it.
Alpha. We are launching something that will help people launch. We did launch and stuff. We did launch it at the Istanbul and stuff. But we'll be releasing a tool to actually, we'll be releasing a service, right, to help token creators and stuff give a lot more certainty, right? To their token buyers that the token launch are legit. Yeah,
that's genuine alpha. That's genuine alpha, actually. Yeah,
because
cat pad.
Because CAT.
Yeah,
certainty, alignment, transparency. Hey, get it?
It's gonna be fun. It'll be an
Where
experiment.
the biggest alpha this weekend is also that we actually didn't share all the alpha during these 2 days because there was too much. Literally. So there's some other things that I can't, like, that I recorded this weekend, I can't release until in some time because I'm like, oh, this was not announced, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then I was asked, why is it not announced? Because they had too many things to.
Kevin. Actually, that day, you know, crazy. You know, it's crazy. All right. So, what's crazy? You know, it's crazy. The week that I missed the podcast, right? And I was like doing stuff in America and stuff. I was working on this. There are 2 deals were going concurrent, right? And I haven't done a second one yet. So yeah. So there's an alpha. Yeah. There's a lot going on. Yeah.
So you said before, when I asked how many people, celebrities have come to you and reached out, you said many. And then I asked, how serious are they? Are they? You said very serious. But now you're telling us that based on how they should launch, there's no shortcut, right? Which means that for most of them that don't have a brand equity in crypto, they should not do it directly, right? And for me, my main question is, you guys are a business, right? You have very good intention for the space, which we understood before, talking about integrity for the space, etc. But you're also a business. How do you balance the fact that you might have these big people coming to you that you know is very likely to not work out because they don't have a big brand equity in the space, and you can't build that in a day or two, right? It takes a lot of time. Versus the Trump launch, for example, probably created an enormous amount of fees for the business, right? So you have this, you're in between where like, oh man, now we have this stack that we're going to market to like all these big people because we want to be the ones onboarding them. But at the same time, we know that if they don't have a good brand equity in crypto, which is the case for most of them, it's very likely to not last long and therefore kind of hurt the space, right?
I think, first of all, I think we don't make that judgment call about it.
Yeah. There's 2 roles you can play. Like, one is as an advisor where we're saying, hey, this is a good idea, bad idea. There's another one where you can be the tech partner, say like, this is how we can make sure that it works on a technical level. And I think we try to focus much more on that.
We are tech partners. That only very clear. We do not. Yeah, he's right.
So what you said
We
before
don't
is basically an advice, but you will never tell.
We are very. I'm saying this on a podcast. First of all, it's our how we see the space, right? And this is the podcast, right? And there's me at a personal level. Right, I'll tell you, look, man, I'll just say straight up, bro, running a token is rough, bro.
It's not for the faint of heart. I will say right now.
I run the major token. I run the major token myself and stuff, right? And like, it's an insane amount of work, right? And stress and everything, right? So I took that at a personal level. I'm like, bro, it's rough. I'm saying, and then you are gonna get a lot of fun. You're gonna like get a lot of shit and stuff. And if you launch something, given that you're high profile, you're probably gonna So I took that as a friend. At a business level, we are a tech provider. That's actually very, very important, okay? The 3 things are very important. See what I'm saying? I am on this podcast, and I'm also on podcast. I'm on conference that I think we as industry needs to be extremely responsible thing, because it's not just even to the industry, it's to the people who are launching the tokens, right? It can ruin you if you don't do well. I'm not joking. Right, your entire reputation and can be. You can see Hakto example, right? I'm saying she was doing so well before that. What I'm saying now she's like in a really hard spot, right? So I think it's more. I'm telling the industry, right? All this everyone who happens to have connections to these guys to be responsible, right? Saying us as a technology provider, we're a tech provider. I'm saying we don't make judgment calls. We don't make judgment calls on your thing. We won't show you. We won't show any token stuff, but we'll make sure that if you do a token and stuff, the tech set works well.
Yeah. You think about it like a gym, right? Like a fitness center kind of gym, where our job is not to be there. You can hurt yourself when you're training. If you're lifting heavy weights, it's possible to hurt yourself. We're not spotting you. We are not like the physical trainer who's telling you exactly how to do it. Our job is to make sure the machines work, all of the weights are there, there's no rust, and so on and so forth. Like, that's the kind of environment that we want to create. And it's for other people to come in and kind of use it in the ways that they basically fit. Obviously, we hope that everyone stays safe. We don't want anyone to get injured. And that's, I think, where some of the ideas are coming from right here. But the idea of like telling people, hey, you shouldn't launch, or you should launch on this date or at this valuation, like those are the things that I think are beyond the scope of what we want to do.
Yeah, way out of scope. Yeah.
I want to talk about 2 more things: Jupnet and the Jup token, obviously. Jupnet. Let's start with Jupnet. You mentioned Jupnet before. An
One,
omni-chain,
two, three.
omni-chain network. So what is Jupnet? What is Jupnet if you have to explain it to your mom or to your cat?
He doesn't have a cat.
Can I just give
Ironically.
can I give a very cool can do two parts? Jupnet is an omni-chain network to aggregate everything.
We're working on an ASMR video for it right now.
That's going to help the podcast get some views for sure. Because there's so many nerds online who love this
Okay, fine. That is the thing I was
ASMR
going
thing. This is going straight to the trailer. So they're like, ah, yes. I'm gonna see
Feel
some
the
some
tingle.
sexy boys doing some ASMR from me.
Aggregate,
Before sleep.
align, accelerate. Yeah.
Hey, can we do it with us? Like 1, 2, 3. Aggregate.
Oh, I think
Let's together. Let's together. Aggregate everything. 1, 2, 3.
aggregate everything.
Aggregate everything. What? Aggregate everything. Like 1, 2, 3.
Aggregate everything.
Hey, we got it. Let's go.
We just need the girl for next time.
Got it. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, so how would we explain Jupnet?
To my mom,
Yeah, to your mom.
buy anything, anywhere, zero friction. Yeah. That's the
I'd
end
say-
goal.
Yeah,
That's the
I
end
would
goal.
say it's you have one account, all chains covered by it, by any token, best possible
You
price.
said mom.
fully
My mom doesn't
decentralized.
understand chains.
Oh, she doesn't? Oh, my mom understands chains.
Oh, my mom is.
My mom's a smart lady.
My mind is smart too. What's wrong? She's just not interested in chains. She's more interested in like nutrition and me drinking water and shit. I swear to God, my mom doesn't give a fuck what I do. And then the only question she asks me is that, do you drink water? Have you eaten your fruits? Have you taken vitamins? I love my fucking mom, but she's
So
not
then,
fucking
in a
bad.
single line, it's one place, buy everything. That's probably the easiest way.
Trade anything. Trade everything.
Trade anything, yeah.
I mean, okay. Honestly, I do feel like the reason why we think that that is actually the place for actually trade everything is better because one of the really big things you want to do for Jupnet is for developers too. We want to make sure that it's like a single decentralized access point, right, for everything. See what I'm saying? Whether you're a user or developer or anything. See what I'm saying? So that's what brings them to me. Yeah. So I think I think that's how we do it. Yeah.
You burned more than $3.5 billion worth of Jup and a cat.
The cat is fine, by the way. The cat is
cat is
made of
totally
metal.
fine.
Yeah,
The cat
yeah.
is
Because
totally
it has
fine.
7 lives, right?
It's
So
9
obviously-
lives, I think. Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
9?
It's 9, I think. I mean, you tell me. I don't know.
Why did you burn that many tokens and that much money? What? Because like before we talked about an airdrop, $700 or $800 million, which for normal people in the normal world, they would be like, what the fuck? You're giving money out, right, to people, which sounds crazy already. But here we're talking about burning billions of dollars. Like, how do you explain that to someone who doesn't understand crypto? Why would you do that?
I would say I'll say something as about trust. Right, trust. Right. So I think early on last year, in cat years about mid cat year 0, this is cat year 1 by the way. Every cat number is a cat new year. Get it?
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
cat number is a cat
It's Lunar New Year, Gregorian New Year, Cat New Year. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Muslim New Year, there's cat New Year. Okay, can so so every cat number marks so before this cat number was cat year 0. Okay, that's cat year 1. Okay, cool. Alright, so in cat year somewhere in mid year 0, we started
Which is
thinking
2024 as a translation. For all the humans who are watching this right now, 2024.
The cats will get it, but humans
Yeah,
So I think so it's like I think the come on, why are you laughing? It's same thing if I explain to a person who is more familiar with Chinese calendar, right? You got to explain it. It's the same thing too. It's cool.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
why
matter.
I'm
No, translating, we go. Thanks for translating, bro. Thank you. Okay, as I come.
So I think somewhere in mid cat year 0, I think we were getting a lot of like community war risk, right? FDO is very high, emissions are too high, and everything, right? But I'll be honest with you. I think the way we designed the tokenomics at the very start, certainly we didn't expect the valuation to be as good as it is right now. By the time we launched, it was a bit too late, right? To update it, right? So anyway, we had to it's actually what happened was that the circulating supply, right? Ended up being a lot smaller than they wanted it to be. See what I'm saying? Right? I think that and so that was like a problem for the whole first year. But here's the thing: we don't do anything based on price. We don't. I swear to God, Kash knows that, right? It's a fact. We don't do anything based on price. We do things because price is transient. Same thing, right? Price is very transient, right? But what we care about is the fundamentals, right? So I feel like one thing was just going through my mind was very simple. How do we make Jupe a much more trusted token? I think that so I think in that regard, I think I did downvote, right, to essentially reduce the total supply, right, of Jupe. And it wasn't actually just a superficial exercise, right? The team actually voluntarily agreed to cutting away 600 million Jupe, right?
From their own allocation.
For their own allocation, right? And also subsequently all the other emissions is also cut by 30%, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I think in doing so, I think we did actually reduce the emissions a lot. And after the cap burn and after Jubilee and after the first cliff, which is the team also volunteered a lot, by the way, right? We are at a very healthy circulating right now, 40%, right? Which is amazing, right? Same thing. And also I think the team has also agreed to kind of like keep most of their the most of the tokens that they are vesting, right? So I think all that brings us to probably one of the healthiest emission strategy you can think of. Right, I'm saying, for any major project that requires funds. See what I'm saying? And that's why, okay? Because we had a vision of being a token that that people could trust. I'm saying, and then I think that gave people a lot of certainty. I'm saying, I think that the high potential tokens was actually what might have caused some people anxiety, right? So we wanted to reduce that. At the very same time, we didn't compromise on our long-term strategic goals, right? Because our goal is simple. We want Jupe to be a key strategic resource, right? For the community, right? To grow the meta, right? It's a very powerful tool. It's an alignment tool. It's a very powerful tool, right? To grow the meta. So we want to preserve the ability for us to have that flexibility to execute on things, right? We kept that. So I think 30% is like to me, I still think it's the right balance, right? I still think it's the right balance, between having allowing the team and the community to have a certain degree of flexibility to execute on big initiatives you want to do, but also to assure the community assure the holders and stuff that the emissions will be like very well managed. Yeah, so that's the reason why. It's for more certainty and more trust and more alignment.
We talk about community and the token as being this tool, right, to pull everyone together. But one of the main reasons why people are in crypto is because they want to invest, right? And they want performance. And there is a crazy opportunity cost of capital in crypto because there's so many tokens.
Yes, crazy, insane.
If you invest in Jupe, right? Because you're part of the community, you believe in the community, you believe in the product, you believe in the future. You want your token price to go up, right? Jupiter is a mega successful app. I mean, you said before it's not as successful. I mean, it's going to become much more successful, but it's a mega successful app. You are on an M&A spree, right? I mean, you're literally like buying businesses.
No, we are not. No, we are not. Oh, we are not. We are
most
really
humbles and kindness.
No, we are not.
Killers in crypto.
No, we are not. Okay, Kevin, come on, man. Like, since when do you see me that way? Come on, bro. We hang out, man. I don't do that stuff. Come on, man.
How do you translate the business success into a token success?
So first of all, I got something which is I something that I'm very grateful for, which is cash. Hey, that's you. Hey, talking about you on the podcast. Yeah, right here. Okay. No, I'm not joking. Big gap. Hey. So I'm your bitch. So what's up? Yeah, what's up? Okay. First of all, I don't think we're on a main spree. I think we are on an ever lookout for synergistic people who share our values.
And I think genuinely as
Broadcom. Okay, it's on acquisition spree. Okay, we are on a values synergistic mission. Okay, it's
And as Jupiter has had self-grown and the product suite has grown, it's become more comprehensive. I think there's just more surface area for people that we can do fun stuff with. Is probably the way to
Yes,
think
okay,
about
thank
it.
you. Fun. Yeah, fun. Thank you. Okay, that's first and foremost, right?
This is the
Second of
difference
all-
of English between people who study in the US and work in the US and people who come from Switzerland and don't know how to speak English, right? But it all means the same.
We are all aggregate speakers here, except you.
Except me, I'm an
you're
English speaker.
speaker. Yeah, I'm an
I'm a
aggregate
proper,
speaker. Okay,
yeah.
but you can speak English, right? Can you?
I can translate. Yeah.
The translator, even better, because we need an English translator, right?
So that's my
That's your role, yeah. Let's exactly.
nice things about me. What were you gonna say about?
Exactly. So you are the guy, right? That
Give me my flowers. I can't. That's all I came here for.
These cameras are rolling, right? We're recording this.
He literally postponed his flight to come here, so give him the flowers.
This okay. It's not flower giving. It's blame shifting. Get it? Blame shifting. Okay, I'm not even joking. I'm actually very serious at shooting about him. Cash, are you ready for the blame?
Bring it, brother.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay. So now, so one of the really important things to do in crypto, right, is that you're gonna be able to translate, right, what you're thinking and what you're doing, right, to the world, right, and to the token holders, right. And first of all, let's be very clear here, right, is that different tokens play a different role. Everyone should have a range of baskets of assets and stuff, right, that you feel comfortable with, right? You know, for me, for me and stuff, even before Jupiter and stuff, I have a pool of personal assets in Bitcoin, ETH, and so the more stable stuff, right? And now for me, I'm 99.99999% Jupe, right? Right? But I did actually build up that pool of assets, right? So I'm saying, you know, right, that gave me a certain stability, right, such that I can be in 99.999% in Jupe, and don't worry about it. So I'm saying, I don't buy meme coins, I don't do anything, mainly because I feel like if I get to that game, it compromises on my ability to execute in a very impartial way. So I'm saying, you know, I mean, I do buy some stuff and small amounts to test the market, to understand the app and everything and stuff, right? And sometimes I invest to show support, but it's very tiny compared to my position in Jupe. Extremely tiny, right? So I think everybody should find a balance. So I'm saying, between like US like JLP and like and putting money lending platforms, because not everything is about pure speculation. A lot of things is about stability. And I'll be honest here, right? I did get to that in Cash too, by the way. I think like so me and Cash like both got to a point of stability such that we can say, okay, we are all in Jupe now. So I'm saying, no, right? But some people might not be. So before I say anything else, I would say that's the case. On the part about translating business success to token success, I would say a few things. I would say like I think it's very, very important that I think the community sees the bigger game you're playing, right? Which is why I'm trying to think of how to explain things, right? Like aggregate, align, accelerate, right? I'm saying, so that even no matter how many complicated things that we do, right, we're able to present the key ideas in a very simple way, right? You know, to anyone who might be interested in or holding our token. You know what I'm saying? Right. Also, a very complicated topic is also the topic of ASR. You know what I'm saying? Right. Which we kind of have to make sure that this year continue allow us to grow a community in the rapidly while making sure that the token is protected. You know what I'm saying? That's a very important goal for us. Right?
ASR being
And
active.
now I would talk about this guy. Okay, cool. Right. I'm not done yet,
I've been
bitch.
waiting. I've been
All right.
yeah.
So I think so Cash is probably the best operator and communicator I know anywhere, bar none, right?
It's very kind of you to say, buddy.
I'm sure I have to show you, bro. I'm biased. It's my explicit vested interest
You're pumping your bag
to sell you right now.
Well, then sell it even harder. Keep going.
Right. To be able to and okay, the way I have to explain things to people, right, is that I am somewhat of an acquired taste. Right. And so one of the things that I've been one of the things I'm very grateful to Cash for is I think, and not just me, but Sean too, by the way. Sean appreciates you. Yeah. Love the book a lot.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I think Sean, one thing that me and Sean appreciate a lot of is I think we at most operate our competencies almost at different parts of the stack. Right. Right. Sean's expertise is like product details, contracts, and customer support. yesterday during a cat burn, I was like shouting for him. During a cat burn, by the way, the most major symbolic event. I'll see on camera right now. It's fucking amazing, right?
Yeah. At the most major symbolic event, right, of the conference, right, of Jupiter's history, probably the symbolic event, for sure. Right, definitely, right. I was shouting for him, hey, where is Sean? Because I want to take a photo with him, right? Catch where is Sean? Because we had and then he came back like, after the cat burn, 15 minutes later, I was like, what the hell? Where the fuck were you? Where the fuck were you? He's like, man, he was like, some API broke and I had to do customer support. Oh my god, I can't believe it. He was doing customer fucking support. Doing the biggest fucking thing ever. And I admit, man, I was looking at my phone, man. Saying, he was in customer support. That's Xiong, man. Yeah. That's fucking Xiong. Fucking amazing, right? Amazing, right? But I'm saying and then for me, I would say the middleware, right? I translate kind of everything we're doing at the product level and tech level into kind of into key ideas and metrics. Right, easy to translate. And then I think that but we have been missing a really important part of the stack, right? Which is someone that could operationalize, right? And put it into a concrete process and strategy and be able to communicate those things. And then that answers the question, right? About how we translate, right? We don't know yet. He might fail, he might suck. Saying, right? But I think so far it's good. What do you think? Anything to say? I just gave you flowers and I shifted them to you.
I think that it is, we're, I think, lucky to have a really strong community that's already really bought into the ideas. And so, while it is nice,
I to cut you off. You said just now that you came in for anyone who hasn't been following us, Jupiter recently and stuff. I have to cut you off right here. Okay? He said earlier that he just joined. The truth is that that he was a really, really big part of the Jupiter community formation, right? When the Jupiter token first launched and the ideas was not locked in stone yet, it wasn't. People just know Jupe and the meta. I know there was nothing much, right? We started hosting a Wednesday, every Wednesday, a call, pantry call, right? And then that call and the subsequent things that came from that call, the work groups, everything, right? He was a really crucial part of that. All the way, and that's the reason why we started working together, right? Because they're like, wow, it's fun. Then he was obviously I think obviously it became much later. It was only at the start of this year that he could commit bro and actually do it. But I was like, we were like, holy shit! It's like, wow, if you could do so much, right? Just as a advisory role, imagine what could do together, right? So that was so he was a big part of that. So you didn't come into a situation. You created a situation. Oh, yeah, but it's still a bitch.
What else can I say?
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that it's really about three things. The first one is obviously orienting around the long term. And so the more we can get tokens out of the hands of people that are trying to just flip it on a day-to-day basis and more into the hands of people that understand the long-term vision here, the better it's always going to be. The second is ensuring that we have a really strong community such that, me and Meow and Xiong are not the only voices out there doing it. And so you can see this right now, Twitter constantly dominated by people writing threads, explaining what's going on, explaining, metrics that, we don't like to talk about as much because they come and they go, but other people in the community take different perspectives and communicate in different ways. And then in third, of course, there's ways in which you can actually make that alignment much more material. One of those being the Jupe buyback program that we'll be doing going forward, where 50% of protocol fees on Jupe.ag go back into accumulating the Jupe token. I should say accumulating, not burning, because we burned 3 billion, and that Jupe is, I think, very useful. So the more we can kind of we love Jupe, and we want more Jupe, and so that's kind of been
so buyback and long-term asset.
That third one really tightly says that, hey, when the product does well, the token should also, or token holders should also be happy, and vice versa. So it creates this very nice flywheel.
I feel that actually the meaning there, right? So also around the certainty thing. Yeah. That's also why we did 3 billion, the 3 billion burn, right? And we cut emissions, right? Again, we didn't just do a 3 billion burn, right? The team voluntarily cut, 30%, right? And then the community also approved the cut emissions, right? See what I'm saying, right? So I feel like it was a whole cohesive entire community effort to kind of build trust. But Kash, do you have a fair to catch?
I do, actually. I do have to get out of here and head to the airport. So I'm going to jump out right now.
But you know what? I got better looking guy to replace you.
Come on, guys.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let's just clap and then you can replace me on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So we have a sexy boy joining us today to conclude this episode.
Yes, we just.
That was a very
replaced-
lively episode. Erbil.
Yes, hi, Erbil. How's it going, Erbil? My best friend, Erbil. How's it going?
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm like so happy that we wrapped up Istanbul with like an amazing event, an amazing ending to it too, right?
Such a great ending. And honestly, super thanks to Erbil who put it off. This guy put out the burning cat. I think when basically we announced it at a rally to say that we're gonna do an event called Istanbul, and we're gonna burn a can, right? Burn a wooden can, not burn a real can, obviously, to be clear, to burn the giant can statue, right? I was like, but honestly, when I said that, I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I just called this guy and be like, hey guys, hey dude, you know what? Let's do something. He made it happen.
Oh man, anything for you. I mean, to be honest, I didn't know if we could pull this off when I heard the idea because
You said yes. You said no problem.
I said this to you because if you think this is asked you, is this really so important for you, right? And you said, dude, we have to make this happen. And I'm like, okay, we'll make it happen. But in my mind, I'm like, this is Istanbul. We're talking about like this giant cat statue. We're talking about like lighting a huge giant fire. Like you can't lit a match in the old city. Like this is like the historical city is all protected. Like you just can't lit a match. And I'm like, okay, how are we going to pull this off?
How do you do that?
Like, so first of all,
Will you do bribe with some Bitcoin?
no bribing, no bribing, no bribing, no bribing, dude. Like I think the lucky thing is, I have like this artsy.
Every time it's like, Kevin, shut the fuck up.
No bribing, dude. Like here's the truth. Here's the truth. I'm so lucky because I have this like arts life. I'm a musician, sometimes or at night. And I have this like amazing friends who do crazy art, and a lot of them do like this mixed art, public art, and these are like engineers, fire technicians, like insanely smart, technical, talented people, right? And basically, I just called up all of them. I'm like, guys, we had this mission. Istanbul is happening in Istanbul. This can be the biggest event that Istanbul has ever seen, right? And this is on us. If we can pull this off, we're the only team who can make this happen. And like, not every single person lives in Istanbul out of this. Because some people like flying in from US, my friends, artists. Some people are flying from UK. Some people are flying from other parts of the world. And just like everybody came here for like 2 months of a sprint, right? Like we just tried like every possible thing to just make everything fit into the safety codes, make sure like nobody will be burned and no cat will be damaged.
They were very precise because I was very, in many ways I was very close to the fire and stuff. I was nozzling the fire, right? And so yeah, it was like they were like, no, you can stand there, you must stand there, you must stand there. They're very precise, like, but preserving the cinematic effect, right?
That's right. So we pulled it off, man. We pulled it off.
Thank you.
That was amazing, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
So when you don't, when you're not an event organizer,
The most overqualified event organizer in the whole fucking world is insane. Yeah.
My team is so mad with me, okay? 2 months I disappeared.
Come on, you would.
I told them just wait until you see the result, and then you know that it's gonna be worth it. So
That's so funny.
do you want to tell us what you do when you aren't organizing events for fun, where you burn cats?
yeah, I'm co-founder of Huma Finance, and we are literally replacing the whole financial rails. And we are right now doing this for cross-border payments, replacing the banking and SWIFT infrastructure. We're doing this for companies like Amazon who needs to pay, thousands of suppliers in different parts of the world. We're replacing their payment rails as well. And we're also replacing the card rails because, today none of the traditional credit card layers can use digital assets. And we're building the platform.
So to be very, very clear, because I myself to do it, you are replacing Swift
We're replacing SWIFT.
already in major companies like Amazon and other banks.
That's right.
for international distribution.
That's right.
Is that true?
That's true.
That's crazy,
We have
isn't
already
that?
done $3 billion, and like $3 billion in traditional finance and payment rails is like nothing. There's like a $30 trillion opportunity to replace, because that's like, if you look at the traffic, that's what the traffic looks like. And banks are telling me, like literally, these are like some of the biggest banks in Europe are telling me they cannot wait to get a hold of this technology and push more and more traffic through that, because Swift is so fucking broken.
What's the relationship with Jupiter?
Personally, this dude.
Tell us the story. Tell us the story. How you went from hate to love, or from love to hate to love.
Okay, want to tell the story? Do you want me to tell the story?
Go for it. Go for it. It's a fun
Okay,
one.
all right.
Oh my god, live on the most watched crypto podcast ever. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let's do it.
All right, 2009 or
Whatever,
10,
whatever.
like ages ago. I meet this guy online, right? Like there's like a site called Quora. It's like Reddit. And you know, people just like experts on different topics come and just like share ideas and share wisdom and insights, whatever. And you know, this guy finds me. It's like, dude, you know, I saw your answers. Like we should chat more, whatever. I'm like flying to Silicon Valley, you know, and I'm like, dude, like come and like, you know, crash at my place. You know, we'll just jam, and then there's like a bunch of stuff happening around us. Like AngelList is like 1 block away. Instagram at the time is called like Bourbon. It's like being built like right in front of our house, and you know, we just like jam with these people, cool people, whatever.
And that was a fun period actually. That was a fun period. Yeah, it was like the period where I think literally Instagram was started like two tables from me, right? It's like insane actually. Great story by the way.
Insane
So
times.
crazy,
You know, like some amazing stuff happening around us, and you can feel the energy. Like you can feel like, you know, that something big is cooking.
And that was actually at the start of what we call Web2 now.
That's right. It was exactly the start of Web2, and the start of
maybe
the mobile
maybe
movement.
a little bit. It started mobile for sure. I think Facebook hadn't started for a while then. YouTube as well. I think it was a start of Web2 and the very start of mobile.
That's right.
Am I right?
Very, very start of mobile. At the
Yeah.
time, actually, people didn't even know if like mobile will be this big of a thing, right?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. 100%.
but
I do think that we benefited a lot from seeing that seismic change early on, and also the Web3 change early on. Yeah, I think
That's right.
I think which sets us up really well for.
I like that.
But we will talk about that later on. Yeah, go on.
All right. So
So some years cut, and then
You know-
later I came back to this. You were okay at Facebook, live, but then
no. I
Facebook,
was
still
actually
Facebook.
doing my startup at the time.
By the way, this guy did incredible things in Facebook and Lyft, right? Just and just so you guys know. Yeah, cool.
We'll talk about the
but
Facebook
before that,
thing. Yeah,
before
we'll talk
that,
about
right?
the Facebook thing later on. But before that, so this guy comes over, and like it's the first time I'm meeting this guy. But you know, it's like we have amazing chemistry, and we're just like constantly talking about stuff, and he's, you know, crashing at our place. And
Was it that early? Was it that early that I crashed, or is it
yeah,
later?
2009, 2010.
Really?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah. Quora, like early days of Quora.
No, I mean, but did I crash it that early?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man.
For sure.
And then you remember we went to Sunfire, and like you and there was song like you guys were there like 2010, 2011. That's that early.
it was that early.
Yeah, man.
Fuck, it's crazy.
Yeah, we're old.
No. But I thought I crashed in your place later.
No. It was like literally we met on Quora. You fly over, I tell you, like, dude, just come and stay
Seriously?
at my place. Yeah, seriously.
Okay, fine.
I know the story very well, because that's the time I actually started dating my girlfriend, and my girlfriend and I are staying at the same place.
Oh right, you had an anchor moment.
That's right.
Yes, I didn't anchor. But the whole phase of my life was so fuzzy and shit.
Yeah, I have an anchor moment
I
because
mean, I remember everything that happened, but I just remember exactly went. Okay, and then tell that story.
that's why I know the time very, very well.
Yeah, got it,
because,
got
you
it,
know,
got
that's why
amazing. I know
started,
that,
you know,
yeah,
living
yeah.
with my girlfriend. And, you know, he comes over, and I tell my girlfriend, and my friend is like coming from Singapore. Is like, who is this guy? Do I know him? I'm like, I just met him like online, whatever. And
That sounds so weird. I might replace you. I don't know yet, baby.
Yeah, you
This
know,
dude I
like,
met online.
and she's like, oh, you know, we just like start dating, whatever, living together. And I'm like, well, it's just a few days, like he's gonna, you know, stay over. Yeah, we're together for more than a few days, more than a week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. And then, you know, And as you know, like Ming is also not the type of guy who is like filtered. He's just like going to talk about whatever comes to his mind. He's the type of guy like whatever he says is coming from his heart, is coming from his mind, but it's not coming from anywhere else. You know what I mean? And he just like keeps talking shit the whole time. And my girlfriend's getting more and more annoying every single day. And then one day she just like explodes. And like,
Oh, really? Seriously? Yeah, I first I heard this. This is hilarious. Yeah.
she just like explodes. Like, I'm done. I cannot take this guy anymore. He needs to go. And I'm like, calm down.
It's so funny. Oh my god. So there was a very, very long period of my life where I was sleeping on couches and random places.
Oh yeah, that's so funny. I was sleeping in like random fucking places.
So what ended up happening?
I got kicked out.
Kicked out.
No more. Thank you. That's standard. I got kicked out and I'm done. And I just did something else.
She kicked him out.
Has this girlfriend become your wife or she's
She's not my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys awesome. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's right. She's not my wife. And every time I talk about Ming, I keep reminding her this story. She's like, please stop reminding me this story.
And now we are telling it live. Not live, but we're telling it's
I'm
hilarious.
not gonna tell her that we actually went live on this story.
I'm gonna send to her. I'm gonna send to her.
I can find her, check it out, and send to her.
Yeah, and that's basically the start of our story. And then I started working at Facebook. I was in charge of getting Facebook to 1 billion users because Facebook was struggling to go from Web 1 to Web 2, right? This was a very critical moment for Facebook because they're struggling to go from Web 1 to Web 2. And my job there, because, we're like very early on the believers of Web 2 and the mobile movement, and my job is to kind of like help them get through this like mobile transition and also get them to understand like how to grow in emerging markets by understanding the culture.
I remember that was interesting, right? Because that was actually the time whereby the mobile app was not that big, right? It was web. It's a web.
Okay, here's an alpha. Facebook did not build its own mobile app. It was built by Google to put on Android. So the first Android app of Facebook was not built by Facebook at all.
Wow.
They
Can
didn't
you
even
say that?
have.
You can say that.
They didn't have Android engineers.
You can say that.
We didn't have Android engineers.
But you can say that.
I can say that. Yeah.
Okay, go
Google
just
built it.
checking.
Google was like,
Just checking.
we're launching Android.
Just checking.
we need Facebook. We need Facebook app because Facebook is one of the biggest applications at the time. We need Facebook app on Android. Can you guys build it? We're like, we can't build it. They're like, okay, we'll build it. No,
Oh, fucking amazing. It's so great.
yeah, that was the time, man. And then trying to get Facebook to 1 billion users, the crazy ride. And at the time, we're like still hanging out, exchanging ideas. I'm trying to pull him into Facebook.
Even though he kicked me out. It's funny, but even he kicked me out of his house. But then we were talking about it, he was always connecting with Facebook. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and then this is the dude who introduced me to Bitcoin. He's like, dude, I'm gonna bring somebody,
the
let's like,
smartest guy I know. The smartest fucking guy.
yeah, it's like this guy
so
who's like
fucking smart.
big brains.
Giga brain, man.
Yeah, Giga Brain. Joseph Fun, right? The guy who wrote the first Bitcoin Lightning Network paper, and he's the guy who made it all happen. And he's like, I'm gonna bring my
He also wrote the plasma paper,
That's right.
which was the precursor for all L2s.
That's right.
Like, no one knows that because everyone knows the L2s right now. But he started like your Sachaners and then L2s. That's just so.
That's Joseph.
fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy. And it's like the lowest profile
Crazy.
guy, but crazy smart guy.
Is this smart guy?
And I, he tells me like, let's do like a Bitcoin meetup, like at Facebook, headquarters. And I'm like, for sure, man, let's do it. And we do the whole thing, and like, it's just fucking us. Like maybe 5 people is there. Like nobody fucking cares about Bitcoin at the time at Facebook.
It's
And
crazy.
then, this is the guy.
That was fun. That meetup was fun. And what was nice though, right? It was nice though. It was
Like
nice.
2013, like it's just
Yeah, no one cared back then, but it was
nobody
nice.
cares.
It was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So yeah, he's the guy. He's the reason that I'm in this whole shit. And now like Jupiter. Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah. And now here we are in Istanbul. Yeah.
Let's finish with the last question. Why are we omega bullish on Jupiter in 2025?
Ooh, I think, okay. I think Istanbul is a very important thing for me because I think I am extremely clear about my strategic priorities right now. I've cleared out the biggest questions that people are asking about the token, about the product, about the vision. Right? I mean, people have been asking me all throughout the year, right? Like, what do you plan to do with Juke AG? What's your long-term vision for Jupiter? what's your long-term vision for the community? What's your long-term vision for Jupiter as a product, as a project? Right, saying like, what is your focus? Right, people ask me these questions a lot for the whole 1 year, right? And I think I've been working extremely hard for the entire year, right? To answer those questions, right? And I feel like I have a pretty good answer to all of them right now, right? That's it. That's the only reason why I am, not the only one, but that's the reason why I'm bullish, because I think I am clear about that now, all these things now. My team has worked really hard to execute on these things now, right? And actually showed that we can make it happen across all fronts. I'm saying that we showed across all fronts, right? Think about it, right? Over these 5 days, we showed that we could pull off an entirely new revamped JupAG, right? With very extremely innovative features never seen before. Ultra mode, RTSE, organic metrics, all kind of stuff. I'm saying new perps, completely new perps LP mechanism. We showed that we can pull off extremely cohesive community growth and gathering things, right? AKA the Jupiter and the Istanbul, right? And the working groups and stuff that people said couldn't be done, right? No one believed that we could do the second airdrop so well. No one believed that we can do the event like this so well. We put it off, right? And then no one, and also Jupnet and stuff, right? Which anchored the long-term vision of Jupiter to aggregate everything, right? And then I needed to prove that I could actually put together a team, right? And the technical framework, right, that can actually pull it off. I think we are early and stuff, but we are starting to be able to do that. So I think that's the reason why I think across, if you think of Jupiter, JupAG, Jupnet, Jupiter, right? I think in the first month of the year, right, I think we have affirmatively demonstrated our ability to execute on all three fronts. And that's why I'm bullish. Yeah. That's all.
I'm only looking at it from the perspective of I'm part of the community. I'm partner of Jupiterverse, and I'm looking at the energy at Istanbul, right? And I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, really?
I was not seriously, man. Like, I mean, it's I've been to almost every single major crypto event. The synergy, the energy, and I think the people's optimism about everything that Jupiter has announced during Istanbul just tells me that the support of the community and the growth of the community is going to continue to happen. And I think if you look at the tweets that Coinbase CEO has published, the biggest names in the industry are not able to keep up with what's going on in the industry, right? And I think if there's one platform that can bring it all together today, this.
Yeah, and I would add to that, Jupiter, from what I really like. I mean, I knew already, but like seeing this happening in real life and seeing what they're doing, they're not only keeping up, but they're actually creating everything. So there is a lot of people copying in crypto, obviously, and then you have a very few people who are actually creating things and kind of pulling things out of their ass, right? Like, you don't know how the fuck they do that, right? Like, holy shit, like how did this guy pull that up? Like, it's crazy, right? And when you are here, like, you really see like what they're pulling all together, and it's pretty insane. So I think we can only be mega bullish on Jupiter, not only for 2025, but
You mean
for the next few years.
Year one.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you for
Thank you
doing
so
that.
much.
That was
Thanks for being
awesome.
part of Year Zero. Thanks for being such a big part of Year Zero, man. And thanks for being such a big part of triggering Year One.
Oh man, my pleasure. My
Man,
pleasure.
it's so fun, man. So fun.
Thank you, Karen.
So fun. Man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's
Sweet.
go. Let's go.